Hi friends, in our time together today I'm sharing one of my practice sessions of that great classical piece March in D. Apparently it was composed by Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach. He is Johann Sebastian Bach's son. This is a great, delightful piece for us to play on our D whistles. So what I want to do is I want to walk you through some of my practicing of this. I want to talk about what I'm feeling from an ornamentation and expression standpoint and share that with you. I did recently introduce this tune, and so I'll put a link at the top and at the end to the video where I did introduce this tune already. And I'll put a link at the top of the notes to this video to the page on my website from which you could download the music and tabs if you've not done that yet. For my practicing today that I'm sharing with you, I'm using the Burke Brass Viper Low D and the Carbony Standard High D. Two comments as we get started. Ornamenting classical pieces. There are times when I've heard people say, when you're playing a classical piece, you need to play letter of the law. And that's not true. When you're playing a classical piece, you're playing music and you should enjoy it. You should find ways to express and emote that tune. If a conductor pauses a fraction of a second longer than what the sheet's written and then puts a crescendo in where one's not written in the music, the conductor has not followed the letter of the law and is improvising. And so I take that as license. Do what you want to express a tune. The other comment is about the pace. You and I think, well, it's a march, so you want to play it. And that's fine. The problem is this is a cut time march, which means it's double time. And I've listened to folks playing it on the harpsichord, and they're pretty quick. So I don't want you to be flummoxed by that. So, I mean, it could be. You know, it could be a fast tune. Work yourself up. Take the pace at which you can play it, and then play it a little faster. Better yet, if you're just sitting around playing it, play it at the pace you want to play it. All right, how am I practicing this? Well, the first thing I'm doing in practicing, as I like to talk about, is to get to know the tune. Nail the core of the tune, because I don't want to be figuring out how to ornament and express it if I don't know the tune yet. And I've already done that with this one. And like I said in the first video, there are a couple of things to be careful of. You've got to play the G sharp 6 times if you count the repeats. And the G sharp is the note halfway between the G and the A. That's the 3 holes and 2 holes. So the G sharp is 2.5 holes. So you do that by playing a G, play the A, and then lift off that third finger enough that you start hearing a note halfway in between. See, I just picked up a little bit of it. Some people cover half the hole that way, half the hole that way. This tune's moving, so that's why I'm doing just to pick it up. So you're going, and you've got to find it. It's a little easier for me to go F sharp, G sharp, A. Though I do have to do a light tonguing to make sure I actually hit the note. Just a recommendation here. So, I've got the tune. I have ideas about how I want to ornament this. So, it's a march, and it has to have a bit of a drive to it. So I do like to do that, and I like some other traditional ornaments. There's a trill in here. So in the A part, yes, it has an A and a B part. And so that D, I'm just accentuating my breath a little bit to punch that. And the trill is you just sort of bounce your finger up and down. And then, I don't like to be tons repetitive. So the first time through, I accentuated the note. Second time through, I'm going to throw a crayon on that D. And the first time through, I ornamented the A at the top of the rise. Second time through, I might do something different. Slide to the A. Cut on the G. Then another cut on the F sharp. That way I'm doing more the second time through, adding greater levels of variation. I'm going to try and play through it on the Carbony. We'll see if my fingers do that. And then okay, that kind of thing. The driving march feel has to be the dominant ornament, I think, of the tune. Let's jump into the B section. And so I want to keep that flow going. So as I get into the B section, I like that. E, cut entry to the A, and, well, with a punch, actually, so that the A stands out. And like I said, this is a thing for me at the moment in my abilities. I'm going F sharp, G sharp, tonguing those two because it's easier for me to hit the G sharp that way. And then slide to the F sharp, lightly tongue the G sharp. And then I get to that whole rising run that goes. You notice it's 3 up, break, and then it's 4 notes up, break, 3 up, 4. And so I'm trying to go lightly on that first set of 3 and then punch the second bit a little harder. I hope the demonstration comes through. So just lean gently into the intros, then punch the next. That adds some good dynamic energy there. Try it, it's fun. It'd help if I could hit that 3rd octave D more easily. I mean, I normally do, but it's practice, right? So I try a little run through on that B part. See that? I like that. So what you're doing is you're creating energy in that in adding some dynamics to your expression on those rising runs. You're adding some punchiness to the quick flow of the tune with the more like the cut, the cran, and depending upon if you do a quick slide, that adds a kind of a movement feel to the tune that I think is great. Energy you're adding, so the tune stands beautifully by itself, but as you add ornamentation, you actually craft a flow that helps the tune feel like it drives just a little bit more. We're going to run through it on the Carbony high D and see how it comes together. I do need to say, and you might experience this too, as I'm playing this tune, the tune has such a great drive to it. I keep feeling like I'm drawn in and wanting to play it faster and faster as I go, and then I get all finger fumbly and it just doesn't work. So I've got to find ways to mentally hold myself back, be it tap your foot, set up a metronome, do something if you have the same experience I do. All right, like I said, let's see how this might come together. Okay, I'm, reasonably happy. I've got a lot of work to do. I hope you noticed that there were notes where I had unclean transitions. I was okay on the G sharp. I need to work on the G sharp. I didn't quite hit all the ornamentation I was thinking I would throw in. Now, I'm saying all that to say, as you're practicing a tune, at some point you're going to have to dive in and see how it's coming together. When you dive in and see how it's coming together, you might find that it's not coming together like you thought. Go back, reset your expectations. I think I want to add a little bit more ornamentation in a few places in the B part. I'm feeling okay about the A part, but what I need now is I need to run the tune, run some sections, get consistency, and then pick up my pace just a smidge, and then I'll be happy. I'm happy-ish now, but practice is incremental improvement. And you notice if you have a finger fumble, notice the finger fumble and go back and work that. It's just good to do, and that helps improve your playing overall. Anyway, my friends, I hope you have a blast playing this tune. I am loving playing it, and I obviously feel like I need a little bit more work, and that's okay. That's why we practice, right? If you're brand new and just checking us out because of the tune, please subscribe. I'd love to welcome you into what is a phenomenal community of people learning the low and high D whistle together, and we're throwing in some other whistles soon. Until next time, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling, my friends.